Hey everyone, welcome back to Audiobook Drift, your go-to spot for insightful book summaries and self-help guides. Today, we're diving into a book that breaks all the traditional self-help rules, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, by Mark Manson. This book is bold, refreshing, and brutally honest. It teaches us that the key to living a fulfilling life isn't in caring more, it's in caring less, but caring about the right things. Stay tuned as we go chapter by chapter. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Don't Try. In the first chapter, Mark Manson introduces us to an unconventional idea: don't try. He shares the story of Charles Bukowski, a man who achieved literary success not because he relentlessly pursued it, but because he was brutally honest with himself. Manson argues that the pursuit of positive experiences can itself be a negative experience, while accepting negative experiences can be positive. The main takeaway is that the key to a fulfilling life isn't constantly chasing happiness. Instead, embrace who you are, flaws and all, and understand that sometimes it's okay to not be okay. Chapter 2. Happiness is a Problem. Chapter 2 shakes up the typical self-help narrative by declaring that happiness is a problem. Manson believes that the root of our struggles is our desire to avoid problems. But here's the catch: life will always have problems. True happiness comes from solving problems, not avoiding them. Manson writes, "The secret sauce is in the solving of the problems, not in not having problems in the first place. By accepting that life will always come with challenges and choosing which problems are worth solving, you can shift your mindset toward growth and fulfillment." Chapter 3. You are not special. This chapter might hit hard for some. You are not special. Manson criticizes the culture of entitlement, where everyone believes they are extraordinary. He argues that this mindset sets unrealistic expectations and creates more dissatisfaction when reality doesn't match up. The key message here is humility. When we stop believing that we deserve everything without effort, we can focus on what truly matters and be content with what we have. Chapter 4. The Value of Suffering. In this chapter, Manson discusses the value of suffering. He challenges us to question what we're willing to struggle for, because this defines what we actually care about. If you want something, you have to be willing to face the pain that comes with achieving it. Manson puts it bluntly: who you are is defined by what you're willing to struggle for. Instead of asking what you want out of life, ask yourself what pain you're willing to endure for that dream. This question helps align your priorities and clarifies what truly matters. Chapter 5. You are always choosing. Chapter 5 is all about recognizing that you are always choosing. Even when life feels out of control, we always have the power to choose our response. Manson emphasizes that taking responsibility for our choices, even when we don't feel at fault, is the foundation of personal power. He writes, "We don't always control what happens to us, but we always control how we interpret what happens to us, as well as how we respond." This realization can help you reclaim control over your life and focus on what you can change. Chapter 6. You're wrong about everything, but so am I. In You're Wrong About Everything, But So Am I, Manson humbly admits that nobody has all the answers. Our beliefs and knowledge are constantly evolving. Acknowledging that we're wrong helps us stay open-minded and adaptable. Manson states, growth is an endless process of replacing old beliefs with new, better ones. This chapter encourages us to let go of the need to be right and embrace the process of learning and self-improvement. Chapter 7. Failure is the way forward. Failure is the way forward is a powerful chapter that reframes failure as a necessary part of progress. Manson argues that the most successful people in the world aren't successful despite their failures. They're successful because of them. The idea here is simple, but profound. Don't fear failure. Embrace it as a learning opportunity. Every failure brings valuable lessons that lead to better decisions and greater achievements. Chapter 8. The Importance of Saying No. Manson's chapter on the importance of saying no teaches us that caring about fewer things leads to a more meaningful life. Saying no helps us set boundaries and focus only on what truly aligns with our values. Manson writes, "The more something threatens your identity, the more you will avoid it. But by saying no to distractions and non-essentials, we can say yes to what matters most." Chapter 9. And Then You Die. Finally, the last chapter, And Then You Die, is a reminder of our mortality. Manson encourages readers to reflect on the finite nature of life to keep things in perspective. When we accept that we're not invincible and that time is limited, we learn to prioritize what we give our energy and attention to. He concludes, you must give a fuck about something. The question is, what do you choose to care about? Embracing the reality of our mortality helps us focus on living a life that's true to who we are. In summary, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson is a wake-up call to focus less on what society tells us to care about and more on what truly matters to us. It's about choosing the right things to care about and learning to let go of the rest. It's not a book about not caring at all. It's about knowing when and where to place your energy. If you found this summary insightful and want to explore Mark Manson's teachings further, I've included a link to the book in the description below. Trust me, you won't regret diving into this honest and eye-opening read.